Welcome to the Vanilla to Vixen podcast. This show contains adult content, so if you are under 18 or easily offended, please switch off now. Mr. and Mrs. N are not qualified relationship counsellors. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Now the disclaimer is out of the way. Sit back, relax, and enjoy our journey from Vanilla to Vixen.
Welcome to episode 122 of Vanilla to Vixen. We are your hosts, Mr. and Mrs. N, and we're also known as...
The Naughty Couple.
Hello, Mrs. N.
Hello, Mr. N.
Welcome to another episode of the Naughty Podcast. And we are just recovering, aren't we, from the Vegas Vixens V2V party.
Yes, recovering is probably the right word. It was a good one.
I'm still recovering.
I think it was probably one of the busiest Vegases we've had.
Yeah, so we normally do our parties, our Vanilla to Vixen parties, on a Saturday night.
Yes.
But we had an opportunity because a Friday night, a few single gentlemen are allowed on a Friday night. It tends to be, doesn't it, actually, in the swinging lifestyle, that Fridays tend to be more of a singles night than a Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturdays tend to be couples nights for some reason. Don't know why.
It's the way of the world.
It's the way of the world. And so on the Friday, it was really nice because we had a few select single gentlemen on the guest list.
Yeah.
And firstly, I'd just like to say a big thank you to all of those. They were absolutely fabulous.
They were amazing. And it's guys like you that make our event really successful because everybody's happy, everybody's relaxed. You get rid of all that negativity that surrounds single guys.
Absolutely.
Because you are impeccably behaved and you know the etiquette, and when that happens, everybody has a great time.
Absolutely. Just before we move on, I've got a little story for you.
Oh, okay.
So there's two old ladies sitting at a bus stop, smoking. Do you remember when people used to smoke? And it begins to rain, and one old lady pulls out a condom and stretches it out and snips the top off. The other lady's looking at her really weird, what's going on here? And she puts it over a cigarette so she can carry on smoking while the rain's pouring down on her.
You don't want a soggy one, do you?
You don't. And the other old lady thinks, this is a nifty trick. And she says, excuse me, what have you just put over your cigarette? And the lady replies, it's a condom. You can buy it from a chemist or a pharmacy if you're in America. And the second old lady thanks her and thinks, this is a really good idea. I'm going to sort this out for myself. So she makes her way over to the chemist, and there's a young man serving behind the counter. And she says, I'd like to buy a condom, please. The young man is taken aback at her advanced age, and he replies, no, wow, good for you. Good for you. No one has ever asked me for help with that before. What size would you need? And she ponders for a minute and goes, I'd like one big enough to fit a camel.
Very good.
He's never seen them since. Anyway, back to Vegas Vixens.
Yes. So it was a great evening. We had lots of games, as usual, with Vegas, don't we?
We did, yes. We had quite a few good prizes.
There were some very good prizes.
Including a real booby prize. A real booby prize. A set of stress relief tits.
They had very pert nipples, didn't they?
And it was won by a couple who were absolutely fabulous. And he said, I'm not taking these to work because my job is, not right.
He did pass them round, so they got squeezed quite a bit, didn't they?
Yeah. I think there was a good selection of the crowd had a good feel of the boobs.
Do you know who won the actual stick-on dildo that's supposed to be the most realistic?
The stick-on dildo, I saw a lady disappear.
Oh, okay.
She just disappeared with it when she won it very quickly.
I never got to have a fondle, so I couldn't say whether it was very realistic or not.
And they were actually joint winners. This is quite funny, actually. So we play a card game to set the scene. We play a card game which is called Casino Bingo. Or, if you're in the north of England,
yeah,
it's called Sticky Fingers. which is just apt for a swingers club. I think it's just apt, a V2V. So we play a game, choose your own name of it, Casino Bingo or Sticky Fingers. It's up to you. And basically it's a bit like bingo. So we draw the big cards out at the front and everybody has 2 cards, and the first person that matches their cards to the big cards that are drawn out wins a prize.
Ooh.
And we had 2 winners in one call, and one of the winners was a hardened bingo fan.
Oh, they take it very seriously.
She was taking it very, very seriously. She called house immediately. The other couple were a little bit late calling, but you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not a hardened referee. So I gave them both a prize.
Yeah.
I said, but you're going to have to choose. One person gets the stick-on dildo, ultra realistic. The other person gets a pair of tits. And this woman looked at me, she went, I'll take the tits.
She didn't fancy the stick-on dildo.
She didn't fancy the stick-on dildo. Well, the other couple seemed quite happy to take the stick-on dildo, the lady especially. And there was just a cloud of dust as she ran, disappeared with a and that was it. We never saw her again.
It's good fun. Everybody has a giggle, don't they?
Absolutely.
And we did our usual match game, don't we? That gets given out as you walk into the club.
We had the V2V fruit machine.
We did have the fruit machine. It was a very good one this time, Mr. N.
Which was basically just a bag full of paper, folded up paper, and you had to match your fruits.
Yes. There was plums on there. There was cherries.
There was number 7s, but I made it very complicated. So I did some sort of strange combinations. So you got a cherry, a 7 and a cherry, and you had to match up your cherry, your 7 and your cherry all on one piece of paper.
Yeah.
So you had to match your combination. And there were people arguing that there was 2 cherries and a 7. Some of the cherries looked a bit orange and not red because my printer was shit. It was all very, very good.
Don't tell them all the things that, you know, we're so professional in what we do.
It was a lot of fun. And yes, people took it very, very seriously.
It is good fun. And it's a great way, isn't it, to break the ice, get people talking to each other. I love the commitment.
Yes. It was really nice, though. It kind of took me back to the early days of V2V.
Yeah.
Because we hadn't done a Vegas Vixens for quite a while.
No.
And I think we slightly altered the ratios. We got a lot of couples. And we got just a very few select single gentlemen. And we kind of matched the single gentlemen up in numbers to the amount of single ladies we got.
Yes.
I just think the dynamics for that party was absolutely perfect.
Yeah, the balance was just right, wasn't it? And we had quite a few compliments about that.
Yeah, we had a lady come up to us. It was her first time she'd ever been to a club, and she'd come on her own. And the praise, it was lovely that she said she felt that we just created a safe space, a complete safe space.
Yeah.
And all she'd done is listen to the podcast, like many other people. And she'd made her way to the club that night. She'd never, ever been to a venue like that before. And she said, I just feel like this is a safe space.
Yeah.
And it was just so lovely to hear. And I think she spent most of the night just watching the dynamics of the couples, a bit like we do.
Yeah. Oh, it's good. It's a good watching place. It's nice to just sit back. You kind of need maybe popcorn or some of the little nibbles. You can just sit back, relax, watch the naughtiness. It's great.
Well, yeah. You don't even need to watch the naughtiness. Sometimes you can just watch people dancing.
Yeah.
And when the sexy outfits come out, sometimes sexy outfits come out about 10:30, around that sort of time. People do dress down.
A lot of people do dress down, which is nice. Oh, you do see some amazing outfits.
There was quite a few actually dressed down.
Yeah, there was.
On Friday.
Yeah.
It was really, really nice to see.
I just want to do a massive shout out to our lovely Fanny Ann, who hasn't been able to get to one of our parties for a while because she's been a busy girl.
She has. And she was a busy girl on Friday.
She was definitely a busy girl on Friday.
We'll talk about Fanny Ann later.
I just felt it was so lovely because I felt like the V2V crew were all together.
Yeah.
And it just, it was great. It was so lovely to have her back. So we'd missed you, my lovely, and don't leave it that long next time.
And she travels such a long way just to attend. We appreciate it so much. And it just makes, for everyone to be able to meet the people that are on the podcast, it's so special. So thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
But watching the dynamics, I think, of the couples there, especially the newbies that had come for the first time, it was just so special. And there was something in the news, wasn't there, this week?
Yeah, so reported in the news this week, apparently, is scientists may have found a new way for people to be attracted to each other. And they have called it symbisexual.
Oh, no, we hate labels. What's it called? Symbosexual?
I think that's how you pronounce it. Symbiosexual. Symbiosexual, I think, is how it's pronounced. I apologise if that isn't the correct way of spelling it. But, did you have to make it a complicated word? Seriously?
Of course. So what does symbiosexual mean?
So, basically, it goes on to report that lots of different people have a wide range of perspectives on what floats their sexual boat. And whatever sort of weirdness you've got going on, it's likely that somebody somewhere finds it really hot. However, it can be difficult to know what exactly it is you like if you don't have the words to articulate it properly. So fortunately, according to this study from a university in America, as they are always in America.
We were talking last week about the National Menopause Society. But we'll carry on with your symbiosexual.
Okay, so
it sounds like Transformers.
I know, it's a bit of a weird word.
I feel like something like Alien about this.
So according to this doctor...
in America? What part of America does it say?
Yeah, it is in Seattle.
Oh, okay.
Isn't that where...
Fraser Crane comes from?
Yeah, no.
He's not real.
No. Sleepless in Seattle was
Sleepless
the film I was
Tom
thinking
Hanks,
of. Yeah, the Tom Hanks film.
Fraser Crane, for people of a certain age. Good night, Seattle, wherever you are.
So, symbiosexual, in essence, it's the attraction towards an existing relationship. You've gone quiet on me, Mr. Wren.
I'm listening.
Are you listening?
I'm
okay.
listening.
So the thing that kicked off the study was an observation that some people appear to be attracted to two or more people who were already in a relationship with each other.
Okay.
So
I can understand that. This is a bit about what we were talking about, yeah.
Yeah, so Dr. Johnston, who is the person that did the study, found evidence in other studies that supported the hypotheses that there were those who had an attraction to the energy, multi-dimensionality and power shared between people in relationships.
Oh God, it's getting a little bit woke for me.
So it says, in basic, it means someone wanting to join their already existing relationship because of the energy people in it are giving off.
I can understand that. So,
this relates very much to the naughty hobby, though.
Incredibly so.
Because there are many times, especially when you are a voyeur, and you watching a couple, and it can be incredibly sexy to watch them. You see them, how into each other they are.
Yes.
And it can be...
It's a big attraction, isn't it?
Massive attraction. And you do get that kind of like, oh, I bet it'd be really hot to join them.
Yeah, you look at some couples, and it might not be an initial physical attraction, but they've got that magic something, and sometimes just watching them with each other... Not in a sexual sense, but they can be laughing at the bar or dancing together or whatever. And they've just got that magical thing between them. And that's very attractive.
Absolutely. So it says here that a symbiosexual would see what was going on between a couple and be attracted to that connection. With a member of the study called Sage saying when they see it, they just want to be smack in the middle of that relationship. So pretty much what you've just said, Mr. N. So among those who participated in the study and appear to be symbiosexual were some answers as to why this dynamic was appealing. So one participant named Angel...
Of course.
Yeah. said they like a lot of care and affection and intimacy in their sex, and a couple brings a lot of that up front. While a second person said that he had this desire to be desired and seek a lot of validation. So when there were more people doing that, it made them think they were doing things right. So they're basically watching other people's dynamics and their relationships and basically going, I want that.
Freud would have a field day with this.
I'm sure he would.
Do you think it sounds a little bit like, I don't know, that they need affirmation of security? I don't know.
I don't know, because I mean, the way I'm reading...
Or is it just purely being attracted to that individual relationship?
Possibly.
I've destroyed that now.
You did a little bit. So a third, who was called Charlie, said she was super compersive, which means they celebrate other people's joy, even if it's not happening to them.
Don't we all do that?
And so she, yeah, and so she was very drawn to strong couples who would be getting a lot of joy. I think that's really sweet, because there can be a lot of jealousy around, especially if you're in a very strong relationship and, you know, people on the outside see... Yeah,
absolutely.
You know...
We've suffered that ourselves.
We have suffered that a lot. So I get that. And there are a lot of people that would go, well, I want that.
Yeah.
You know...
And it's been open to that and almost celebrating that.
Yeah.
That's a cool thing.
Yeah. So the study was called the Pleasure Study. And 373 people were surveyed, and among them, 145 expressed an attraction to people in a relationship.
Okay.
The numbers were then crunched and ended up interviewing 34 of the people that were interviewed for further details, where they outlined what they felt.
It's very interesting. They always sell these things as being brand new.
It's not. It's just people talk about it more.
But years and years ago, before any of this wokeness and this open talk, and I'm not decrying it, it's all very nice. It's all very nice. I'm not decrying it at all.
Nice is such a horrible word.
No, it's nice. Years ago, you would say that there were women or men, let's just take for instance, that are attracted to married men.
Yeah.
So, you know, perhaps they were symbiosexual.
Symbiosexual.
Exactly. Who knows? They were perhaps attracted to the way that the man was with a woman, and so therefore years ago we would have just said, you know, that lady's attracted to married men.
Absolutely.
Watch out for her.
Well, it says here, some of the common traits that came up in the study was a desire for lots of intimacy, a lack of jealousy, and a preference for non-monogamy.
It's the naughty hobby all over.
Yeah, it is.
Symbiosexual. So you could say a lot of people in the naughty hobby we're all symbiosexuals.
I mean, it's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? Pardon the pun. But
I feel a new T-shirt coming on in the store.
Yeah, look out for vanilla2vixen.co.uk.
Symbiosexual.
I wonder, because obviously we were talking last week about the different age ranges, weren't we? And who is apparently having the better sex lives and things. And I'm wondering if this is the sort of thing that goes along with that kind of study.
You know, in 20, 30 years' time, swingers clubs could be extinct. They could be. Because the next generation could go, well, you know, we're just openly
non-monogamous. Yeah, that's true. And that seems to be the attitude of the younger generation.
Yeah.
What are they called?
The millennials. You got the millennials and Generation Z.
Okay. I think it was the Generation Z, wasn't it?
Yeah, they're the sort of like late teenagers. And
yeah.
It's sex is definitely different to them. It's definitely different.
And I suppose when they talk about non-monogamous relationships, it's almost a normal thing to talk about. not like in our day where it's kind of frowned upon and...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's definitely different attitudes towards swinging now, which brings me on to another story.
Oh, okay.
That's broken this week. It was all over the press and in the Sun newspaper, so it must be true.
It must be true.
I like the Sun's headlines. You can always tell what the story's going to be by the headline. And you know straight away, swing your hook. Spell swing your, not your. Swing, S-W-I-N-G, your, Y-E-R. Swing your hook. So I'm already feeling that this is not going to be a positive story about swingers already. Thank you, Sun. Thank you, Sun, for slagging us off again. And he says, locals were furious with plans urging the council to take immediate action. A swingers' sex swap night in sleepy Scottstown was cancelled after dozens of complaints from outraged residents. So already I'm getting a mental image that the Sun is portraying.
Yeah.
The legacy media. Don't we hate them? And you see this week, Elon Musk, who everybody knows I've got a bit of a bromance with. Elon Musk is like, he did a very famous tweet this week, obviously after all the American elections and everything. Yeah. And he said, you are now the media, which I think is just amazing.
Yeah.
No more legacy media, no more BBC, no more Sun newspapers. You are now the media. You've got the power, the freedom of speech.
Yeah.
Whatever your politics, I thought that was a very good tweet.
Yeah.
Let's go back to legacy media. Swingers sex swap night in a sleepy Scots town. How do they know that everyone's going to swap? Anyway, here's the story. Ads for the pop-up members-only adult club said it would have 5 bedrooms and a stripper pole to help bring your fantasies to life.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. The event was to take place at the Black Rose on Main Street in Kilwinning in Ayrshire in Scotland. Organisers appear to have gotten cold feet as council chiefs rained down on the plans after locals fumed over the plans. What were they going to rain down on them? Condoms? We're going to rain down on you. What, locusts? Was it biblical? The Black Rose was set to host the event, which has since been shut down. But organisers, DMC, Devil May Cry, Social, appear to have taken cold feet. They appear to have taken cold feet.
Yeah?
You
don't take cold feet, you get cold feet.
This is the quality of the journalism. Anyway, let's carry on. Devil May Cry appear to have taken cold feet after being warned they'd be breaching licensing laws. Promos on social media claimed the venue would be a place to cultivate unforgettable memories.
Okay.
That's just, that's a swinging lifestyle thing. You could do that, Nothing saying it's going to be a mad sex swap party.
No, absolutely not.
Oh, hold on a minute.
Oh, okay.
I spoke too soon.
Were you a little bit premature, dear?
I was a bit premature. Facilities also included a cinema, jacuzzi and a sauna.
Right.
Sounding a bit sex swapping now.
Just a little bit.
You're going to need what's called an SEV license for a cinema.
Yeah.
You're going to need that.
Yeah.
I can see where this is going a bit Pete Tong now.
Right.
Patrons are encouraged to stay hydrated and physically fit for any activities that you engage in.
What do they think it's like a decathlon or something?
Come down to our swingers sex swap party. Okay. Oh, it's cheap.
Yeah.
Entries were going to be. They've even so the Sun have even put the price of this in. Entry was going to be £30 per couple, £20 for women, and £40 for single men. Why are single men going to pay more?
They always do.
Plus a £5 joining fee. But outraged residents contacted local councillor Donald Reed in a bid to stop the club from opening. He said constituents were advised the premises had no live licence. North Ayrshire Council has a policy of no adult entertainment venues. It was feared enforcement would have to wait until after the club's first night. A police spokesman said, "We're aware of the proposed event. We're all planning to go." No, he didn't say
you
that.
made that up, didn't
No,
you?
I just made that. Don't sue me. Don't come and arrest me. Honestly, Ayrshire police, don't. Okay. The event was planned for November the 22nd, the same as our night.
Oh.
It's been established this will no longer take place. We've contacted the organisers for a comment. And that's the end of it.
So they obviously didn't comment. No.
Oh, well.
It's a little bit frustrating because you hear stories like that and you just feel like we've gone 50 paces backwards.
I know.
You know, everybody knows with the podcast and our events and everything, we're massive advocates for the whole naughty hobby.
It doesn't help the scene when a group like that, and there's been other clubs as well, where they haven't sought the appropriate license.
Yeah.
I mean, they were trying to put an adult cinema
Yes.
in there. You are going to need an SEV license for an adult cinema. So with that, they hadn't got obviously the proper licenses, and then it makes it look like a seedy backstreet kind of thing.
Yeah, I think you also have to take into account the location. So he said he was on a main street. I mean, if you're talking like most main streets that we know, they're very crowded.
Yeah.
They're very built up areas. And it's, you know, it's kind of knowledge, you know, common knowledge.
It was a no-go.
Those kind of things don't work in those areas.
But again, it's interesting how the legacy media pick up that story.
Yeah.
In as much as there's not really much of a story there.
No.
Somebody was going to do a swingers party in a pub.
Yeah.
And it didn't take place. So they use all this language like, we rained down a series of terror on these filthy bastards. Swarms of locusts will enrage around them.
I mean, I've noticed that there's a lot of things now that go on where people just, they kind of title them things like an adult, like adult disco or adult camping. And I think by phrasing it that way, you automatically relate to it being probably a swingers event, even though they probably aren't.
No, you spent too long in swingers clubs.
Is that what it is? Because I have to be honest, if I see anything that's entitled adult something, it's like, oh, okay.
Mrs. N, we need to talk. So, have you seen the adverts for Saga?
Yes.
It doesn't mean that Saga are all getting their rocks off.
No, I know that, but that clearly advertises that it's just for, you know, seniors without children. But when you see it, I mean, we've driven past places where they've gone, it's an adult-only campsite.
Adult-only weddings.
Adult-only weddings.
We'll have a go with the bride.
Yeah. You can't say that.
And we'll be sploshing with the wedding cake.
But they probably should say, to make it clear, adult only just means no kids allowed. Not that it relates to anything else. I'm just digging my hole here, aren't I?
I think you're just basically proving you've got a filthy mind. A filthy mind.
Oh, if somebody said to you, do you want to go to an adult disco? What would you think?
I think they're inviting me to a swingers club.
Exactly.
That's only because I've got a filthy mind. We've spent too long in the naughty hobby. Anyway.
Moving on swiftly.
Yes. Going back to, I think the way it portrays, it's true, and there is a serious side to it, that while there's still articles like that phrase it in such terms as swing your hook, almost like bring out the pitchforks, burn the bastards. It's just that. It's just sad. It's just enforcing that all that judgment. And don't get me wrong, laws and rules are there to make sure everybody is safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, having recently just taken and passed my personal alcohol licence.
Well done, Mr. N.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. You know, there's rules in there that when you sell alcohol, that you have to make sure that the premises are safe for everyone around, safe for children who probably aren't even in the place. But you obviously have to it's just common sense that you have to make sure that the premises are safe and we protect our vulnerable in our society, like children, like the old folk, a lady who was buying a camel condom. But by the same ruling, you don't have to make it so judgmental on the people that just want to go out and enjoy themselves. And going back, this is where we talk about people who, like the lady who came up and thanked us so profusely at the venue and said, you have created a safe space. It doesn't feel seedy.
Not at all.
Because V2V and the whole brand of V2V is just about creating that space where there is no judgment, so you can come along to a party and there's no judgment there. So if somebody comes up to you and says, I like sploshing with wedding cakes.
Yeah.
I like a gangbang on my wedding day. Cool. Enjoy. If that's what you enjoy.
I think it also goes to show, especially with the media, the ignorance.
Yeah, because...
if they did proper research...
yeah.
and spoke to proper people within the naughty hobby, they would realise that it's not like that at all.
Anyone who's been to a swingers club, there's a swingers pole at Liberty Elite.
There is.
It very rarely gets used. It does get used.
It does get used.
We've seen people on it. There's absolutely no chance. We have been to parties at swingers clubs where barely any swapping has taken place.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've held parties ourselves many times where we've got lots of new couples. They go home. They have sex together and then they go home.
And we do say that a lot because we obviously see a lot of newbies at our events. And we're there to hold their hand and to guide them and give them any advice that they need. And when you see them to start off with and they're like, oh, I'm really nervous, I'm not sure if I'm comfortable. And one of the things we always say is this night is whatever you want it to be. There's no set rules. You know, not from the first time like we went and I looked at my watch and went, okay, so when does it all start? Expecting there to be an itinerary. Yeah. It's like, no, this is your night. So you're in a space. What you do within this space is entirely up to you. And it's whatever you feel comfortable doing. And that's what the message we've tried to get across.
And I think we've got, looking at the press this week, there's two very, very different sides of things. And picking out your article, which I just see on your tablet, was by Lad Bible.
Yeah.
It was from Lad Bible, which is a very youth-generated, Generation Z probably, you would call it, news outlet. To The Sun, which is a very legacy, obviously old school news outlet.
Yeah.
And look at the way that those two news articles have been portrayed. So you've got one news article which is portraying sexual.
Yeah, but then in a way that it's being normalised.
Exactly. In the way that, hey, there's people out there that are really attracted to couples and the relationship that couples have.
Yeah.
In a very non-judgmental way. They've reported that.
How many times have we heard people report or people say that swinging is just an excuse to cheat?
Yeah. But here's the news. With a very, very, very small minority, and it is because we know a lot of the community, but there will be people out there where their marriage isn't working and they're perhaps just bored, and there might be reasons why financially they've just got to stay together.
Yeah.
And guess what? There might be the odd couple out there that's true for.
Yeah.
But it's certainly not true for the majority.
No, not at all.
You know, and there's a huge amount of people out there where life kicks you in the teeth and day-to-day life is really tough, and it is really tough in this day and age.
Yeah.
And there's couples out there that are really good mums and dads, and they just want a break.
Yeah.
They just want a break, and they want that freedom to go back in time in a way where there were no mobile phones and you went out and you just enjoyed yourselves. And this way, and such as a V2V party, you've got that safe space that you can just go and find yourselves without fear of any judgment. And you look at it in the way it is, but then the way that the legacy media present it, they're the ones that make it seedy.
Oh, absolutely. And as everybody knows, I get incredibly frustrated by that. But even with what you were just saying, Mr. N, you know, when couples who want some time, just the two of them, and maybe can have a break somewhere, even if they did that with a weekend away, you still have that expectation that you've got to behave in a certain way because of other people that are around you.
Yeah.
Whereas when you go to an event like V2V, that space is your space.
one of the most...
Nobody's going to judge you for behaving the way... Obviously, as long as you're behaving...
As long as you're not upsetting anyone.
Yeah, as long as you don't upset anybody or act inappropriately towards anybody.
And there is a code of conduct. There is a code of conduct, a high one that we expect at V2V. And we repeat it. It's leave your judgment at the door. You know, consent is sexy. So don't go around being a pest. If you're being a pest, you're not welcome.
No.
Nobody wants a pest at a party at all. Consent is sexy, so... if you're drinking alcohol, just be careful, you know? And one of the kindest things we can do, if you recognise someone who is a bit tipsy, one of the kindest things you can do is not approach them to play.
Yeah.
Because that way, you are being kind to them. Because you don't know, if their judgment is slightly clouded, then you don't know if they will then regret that in the morning.
Absolutely.
And so one of the kindest things you can do at any swingers club or any swingers event, private parties are becoming more and more popular within the swinging world. And if you do notice someone that's bought a lot of their own alcohol, drinking a lot of their own alcohol, and they are a little bit over the edge, shall we say, the kindest thing you can do is go, we're all right, thanks, at the moment.
Yeah.
Just having a break, and not play with them. Because I guarantee we've been in that situation where we've met couples when we were extremely naive. And in the beginning, I think it was about our second or third meet, and it didn't go well.
No.
They drank too much. We were too naive. They were a lot younger than us.
Yeah.
Very firm abs. I remember it well. But at that stage, we weren't ready to do a full swap.
No.
And I remember it very well. We were in the swingers. We were in the hot tub at a club, and they approached us, and the play kind of got too much for us too soon. Yeah. And it ended, you know, it was just not a pleasant experience.
Not at all. No, it wasn't. It was a very awkward, and like you say, because we were naive, and it's very difficult. And a lot of people say to us, you know, how do you say no to somebody without offending them? And it is tricky in the beginning, but the more honest and open you are, you can be honest and polite at the same time.
Absolutely. And again, that's part of that no judgment. So if somebody comes up to you, and that's no judgment against yourself as well as others. Yeah. So if somebody comes up to you and says, you know, if you approach someone and you're chatting, and then you'd say, oh, do you fancy going into the hot tub? And the other couple say, no thanks. Yeah. We're all right. Don't make that judgment upon yourself that you are not worthy or you are not sexy enough to play with that other couple. Yeah. It might just be that they don't want to go in the hot tub. It might be that they're not ready for that yet. Yeah. But we're all too quick to judge ourselves, I think. Yeah. And that's where V2V, I think, makes things easier for brand new couples, in as much as we have those few rules, those codes of conduct that we like people to abide by. We expect people to abide by.
We've taken our experiences, haven't we, and turned it into an event that we hopefully we protect the people that come to the event.
We've fucked up so you don't have to.
Pretty much. Couldn't have said it better myself.
But you know, you've still got to grow, and the thing about growing in the lifestyle is, or the naughty hobby, as we prefer to call it. Why does that sound
so rude?
The naughty hobby.
The growing.
But it's the only way we grow is by making your own mistakes.
You do.
But we try and protect people as much as we can at our events.
Yes.
But you've still got to have a little bit of space there to go, oops, that didn't go the way I wanted it to.
Yeah. And at the time, you may go through different emotions with it. You might feel upset by it. You might feel angry by it. But when you step back and take a look, at some point you will just put it down to experience, and you'll have a giggle over it and say, well, we've learnt from that one.
If you communicate.
Absolutely.
And even if you're a single person in the naughty hobby, there's still ways of communicating, for instance, on our Discord chat or on whatever swingers app you use. It could be Fab Swingers, it could be Swing Hub, whatever you use. There's still always people there that you can chat and communicate with and talk about your experience and just get it off your chest. Yeah. You know? If it's a negative one. And the best way of dealing with it is just to talk about it and then move on.
Exactly. And just to remember that it's happened to pretty much everybody that you're probably in the same room as at some point in their journey.
So if we go back to our naughty Vegas Vixens night...
One thing I need to mention as well, some of the girlies, and if you're listening, girls, you'll know exactly who you are. Oh my God, there was an array of beautiful, sparkly dresses.
There was.
And they all looked just stunning.
Everybody had really taken the Vegas theme into their hearts, hadn't they? And there was sequins, there was sparkles. My face and
you were
chest,
covered.
I was covered. Everybody gave me hugs. And it's like I look like Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
There was a lady there that went full on Vegas with feathers and everything. She looked amazing. She was wearing like this red stocking, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Full body stocking.
She arrived in it.
She did. Honestly, you guys blow us away. Every time we see you, you just blow us away because you all make an effort. You all look fantastic.
Again, and another thing that a lot of newcomers say to us is, what do I wear? It's the terrifying thing, because day-to-day life and the normal vanilla world, the muggle world as we call it, you are judged on what you wear. And basically we say, as long as you abide by the club's code of dress, which is often smart, we like people to be smart and sexy.
Yeah.
As long as you adhere to that, then wear what you like.
Absolutely.
Whatever you feel sexy in.
We have an array, don't we? Which is why I think that's the nicest thing, because it's more about you feeling comfortable.
Yeah.
And we certainly, at our events, wouldn't want anybody to feel pressured into wearing a certain type of dress if they didn't feel comfortable
absolutely.
doing it. And that's what I love about our events, because it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
As long as obviously you follow the dress code of the club, whichever club you're going to, just be comfortable.
And this is the real deal. No bullshit. This is the difference between what you read in The Sun.
Yes.
This mad sex swap party where everyone's swapping. To basically come to a party, come and feel sexy.
Yeah.
Celebrate your relationship between the two of you, 3 of you, 4 of you, however many of you are in your relationship. Come and celebrate it. Feel sexy about each other. This is what's real and what's genuine about the naughty hobby. Not we will rain down upon you with furious anger. Sounds like a scene from Pulp Fiction. We've said from episode 1, right from the beginning, we are just basically here to dispel the myths, disperse the bullshit, and tell you how it really is.
We've always been very honest.
We have. And Vegas Vixens was a superb party, and we got on to quite an interesting chat in the jacuzzi, didn't we?
We did, yes, because everybody dispersed sort of roughly all at the same time, didn't they?
Yeah.
We didn't think we'd be able to get in.
There's always a move, isn't there,
There is.
to the playrooms. So for anyone who's never been to a club, it does kind of like about 10:30, 11 o'clock. It's never a specific time.
No.
But at some point in the night, you just notice a kind of sudden quiet in the bar or lounge area, and people kind of move to the playrooms.
They do, yes, they do.
Some on their own, some, couples alone, some with others.
Exactly. It all goes on.
But you had quite an interesting conversation, didn't you, Mrs. Anne?
We did. The hot tub was quite busy.
Very.
Forced me way in, like I do.
Once again.
And somehow we got into the conversation of jizz.
You did.
No, somebody else brought the conversation up, didn't they? I can't remember how it all started, but we got onto a conversation of jizz, and there was a question that arose.
Yes.
Does jizz float or sink?
Okay. I need the almighty power of Google. Okay.
There was a bit of a sweepstake going on because nobody actually really knew, because it would never tested out.
If this was the Joe Rogan experience,
yeah.
Jamie. Jamie looks up jizz floating or sinking. But we haven't got a Jamie, as I've said before. So hold on, let me have a quick look. Here we go. I'm on Healthline.
Right.
Healthline.co.uk. This is bound to be this is a proper, it's asking me all sorts of things. Am I a registered practitioner? No. Yeah, this is going to be a good one. 12 widely believed sperm facts that are actually false.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure I'm going to like this. Sperm swim like Olympic athletes. A common tale is that millions, anywhere from 20 to 300 million to be precise, of heroic sperm swim in competition with each other to be the lucky little swimmer that penetrates an egg. Nope, it's false.
Oh, okay.
2. This comes to you to answer your question.
Right.
Thicker sperm is more fertile sperm.
Okay.
So some sperm does sink,
right.
but some floats.
Okay.
So it's not universal. Okay, let's see.
Depends on the thickness.
Thicker semen doesn't necessarily mean thicker sperm. Usually it means there's a high sperm concentration or a high number of irregularly shaped sperm.
Oh, okay.
Life choices, life choices.
There's a lot of men now going, oh.
Thick sperm is just irregularly shaped sperm. Number 3, sperm only live for a short time after release.
No, I knew that.
No, it's not true.
Is it not true?
Remember, this is dispelling the myths. Not always. Lifespan depends on where sperm land after ejaculation. Sperm that make it into the vagina after ejaculation can live for up to 5 days.
No.
Yeah.
I always thought it was only like 3 hours or something.
5 days. They're in there with the Zimmer frames. They're just chilling out in the cave. They're living in there like Osama bin Laden in the cave. They've got little beards. This is due to the protective effects of cervical mucus and cervical crypts. I told you, crypts.
Crypts.
Told you.
Yeah.
4. Let's have a look at this. Sperm entering the vaginal canal swim straight up to an egg. It's a pretty long journey to an egg during penis in vagina sex. Sperm don't leave the penis and head straight to the uterus. Some sperm attach to oviduct elliptical cells in the fallopian
A
tubes,
hoobie watty.
or get stored in tiny chambers called crypts until fertilization. So they're just chilling out. They're guys. They're going, we're not asking for fucking directions. I know my way. Oops, there's the tonsils. Sperm stay fertile and healthy throughout your life. One of the oldest persisting myths is while there are a limited number of eggs, which is true, sperm is available in a lifetime supply. Not so fast. Sperm production or spermatogenesis does take place indefinitely, but the quality and mobility of sperm decline with age. I told you they're on Zimmer frames.
They're all old fogies.
Older males are more likely to pass genetic mutations onto their children about 4 times faster than a female would, according to an Icelandic study.
Oh.
There you go. 6. Briefs are bad for your sperm count. I was always told that.
Really?
Tight pants, fewer sperm. Supposedly, tight undies decrease sperm count, while loose boxers keep everything at just the right temperature for sperm production. But underwear has almost no effect on sperm, according to a 2016 study.
Oh, okay.
Okay. 8 is every sperm is healthy and viable, which, yeah, obviously they're not all. 9, pre-cum can't lead to pregnancy. There you go. False.
That's
mostly
a big myth, isn't it, that one?
Biologically speaking, pre-cum shouldn't contain sperm, but sperm left over in the urethra, the tube through which both urine and semen are ejaculated, can get mixed in. Sure, there aren't as many as in new semen, but a 2011 study showed that nearly 37% of cum samples collected from 27 subjects contained a significant amount of healthy sperm. There you go, pre-cum.
Oh, be careful.
Number 10. More sperm is better for trying to get pregnant. Having a high semen volume, which counts sperm in a single ejaculation, is good, but there's a point where the returns start diminishing. The higher the sperm concentration, the more likely multiple sperm may fertilise the egg. But only one single, one-sized, cell-sized sperm cell is allowed to fertilise one egg, resulting in the development. So you don't need gallons.
No.
Okay? I might as well read the last 2 out.
Go on.
Sperm is a protein powerhouse.
Ah, you see, I've always said that. It's good for you.
Ah, shit.
It's good to... Are you going to tell me it's not?
Guys, you know that whole thing, come on, girls, drink it up, it's good for you. Oh, shit, I'm about to dispel all your myths. This is a popular myth that's probably been joked about constantly, but you'd have to ingest more than 100 ejaculates
Oh, my God.
to see any nutritional benefit.
Wow.
Oh, no. The women are back on the protein shakes. Guys, we're finished. Number 12. Pineapple makes semen taste amazing.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
It's not just pineapples that people say are supposedly good for semen flavour, but none of the tales are based on science. The first thing to learn is that semen, scent and taste, like many bodily fluids, are influenced by overall genetics, diet, lifestyle. Just like everyone's breath smells different, everyone's cum has its own aroma.
That's true.
That's it.
Wow.
The bottom line is everybody's cum's different.
It is. It is. And depending on whether it's thick or thin, depends on whether it floats or sinks.
See? So we've answered that one. We told everybody in the hot tub we would cover that on this podcast.
Yes, we did. And we've kept to our word, guys. So now you know. You can all go and work out whether you've got thick or thin to whether it floats or not.
Oh, dear. What else happened at Vegas Vixens? Well, I managed to get... We were talking about the gorgeous Fanny Ann.
We were.
I had the most amazing massage.
Yes, we were lying on the big bed, weren't we?
On the big bed. And we were talking. We had a really interesting conversation with her. And we were saying, I think she just had quite an energetic time.
Rather, I mean, we didn't actually see her physically, but
I did.
There was a group of gentlemen, shall we say, and I could hear her. And I said, somewhere under there is Fanny Ann.
But then you know, we had a really good chat, and it's not always about the most energetic sex.
No.
Sometimes it can be about relaxing and just massaging and the sensation play. And Fanny Ann, like myself, are hugely into sensation play.
Yes, but we also had that conversation, which I think we talked about a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about the different types of orgasms. And we were talking about the brain orgasm.
Yes.
And Fanny Ann she's experienced that.
She has, which we've had a message actually this week that I'm going to read out to you. And it's from New to Swinging 123 on Fab. Okay. This is from William and Deanna, who are New to Swinging 123 on Fab Swingers. And it's okay to read their names out. I did check. It says, "Hi, Mrs. N. We have just listened to this week's podcast, which was last week, 121. The message from Lottie and M about psychological brain orgasms was interesting. We're actually friends with them both and met them at V2V back in September. We met them at the party. We've been friends since and met up with them, and I always text him. Lottie and men are just amazing. We just wanted to add that you can also get an orgasm when you have a CT scan with contrast dye."
Really?
Yeah. Deanna found this out when she was just 15. She thought she had weed herself, but later found out it was an orgasm. We would love you to read this out on your next week's podcast. We're happy for you to say both our names and our username.
Wow, thanks, guys.
I need to find out why.
It's obviously something to do with currents, I would imagine.
That it could be
electrical
currents. In
currents.
contrast, obviously goes into your brain. CTs. I'm gonna have to do a lot of research on that.
I think there's probably quite a few people that have had those type of orgasms, but obviously didn't actually realise that that's what it was.
Yeah.
Because I don't think you associate it necessarily.
You wouldn't think you're laying there waiting for a scan, and all of a sudden an orgasm approaches you.
Yeah, I can't remember how Fanny Ann got hers, but I remember her saying she had experienced it.
The many different orgasms.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry to interrupt you all. You were just getting into the sensual sensation play you were having with Fanny Ann.
I can honestly say that was one of the best experiences I've ever had.
She's got the most soft and sensitive fingers.
Yeah.
Hasn't she?
And again, so it was because of great communication, because we chatted. Obviously, Fanny Ann knows us really, really well.
Yeah.
And so there's that relaxation there that, you know, we share this this tactile, I suppose.
Yeah.
Very tactile sensation play between us.
Yeah.
And so she just I just lay there. I lay there like an injured fish. while she caressed and manipulated me. And it was just the most amazing feeling.
You were very, very chilled, weren't you, dear?
I mean, it was kind of sexual, because obviously it was a sexy feeling. I was naked. And I got this beautiful woman who's just, for anyone that's seen Fanny Ann, has got she does lots of yoga and lots of exercise. And
she's incredibly athletic.
Yeah, and then she is like naked in front of me, and it was just incredible. Incredible. And yeah. What can I say?
Exactly, what can you say? But you talking about communication, it can make a massive difference to the type of experience that you have.
Yes.
And obviously we get lots of questions and lots of people talking to us saying, we find it really difficult to sort of say what we want to say to people. It seems embarrassing and stuff like that. However,
Cue what happened next at the party when we got dressed.
Exactly.
Wandered into the bar.
Yes. And we happened to be talking to the lovely Sir John and Lady La.
So Sir John and Lady La have been on the podcast. They're known as Town and Country.
Yes.
Spelled C-U-N-T-R-Y because they're very naughty. So Town and Country turned up, who just absolutely made our night because they're just our adorable close friends. And let's just say Sir John and Lady La have innovated something.
They have.
They've created a V2V game.
Yeah. It's just awesome.
This is amazing. This is like the V2V game, and it's specifically for swingers.
It is.
Or not swingers. We are
No.
naughty hobbyists.
We are hobbyists.
Hobbyists.
Yes.
And there's nothing else like it. And they've had a prototype made up. And they brought it into the club. They brought it to the V2V Vegas Vixens.
They did. And they were trying it out on people.
Very quietly.
Very quietly,
Very
yes.
quietly doing some research.
Yeah.
And the popularity of it was just incredible.
Yeah. I think it blew them away of how well it was received.
Yeah. And so there's going to be a little bit more work done on it.
Yeah.
And we're going to bring it to you later on.
We are.
And it's a brand new V2V game, which hopefully will be on vanillatavixen.co.uk.
Yeah, exactly.
In next year. After Christmas.
After Christmas,
It's not going to be in Santa's sack.
It's not. But talking about Santa's sack, Mr. N.
Yes.
V2V, the very final event of 2024.
Christmas is coming.
Christmas is coming.
Oh,
Santa's
yes.
sack is full.
Not yet. There's plenty gaining ground on the naughty list.
There is. So the guest list is open. It's already filling up nicely.
It's basically been open for a few hours, and we had over 30 couples on it, literally in a couple of hours. And we're kind of wondering where V2V's going, because we're just getting more and more and more people, aren't we?
We are.
It's like the guest list's filling up quicker, and so next year we've got lots and lots of exciting things happening with V2V.
We have, yes. There's lots of things in the pipeline, but can't tell you about it just yet.
Not just yet. Got to keep mouth sealed. But lots of things happening. But it's going to be the last party of the year.
It is.
December the 21st.
We want to go out with a real good bang.
Oh, hell yes. And failing that, a nice Fanny Ann massage. And it's on December the 21st at Liberty Elite.
It is. It's a Saturday, so couples and single ladies.
Yeah, most welcome.
Obviously, you all love a theme night. It's Christmas, so go for it.
The naughty Christmas list.
Naughty Christmas list. So
you can come as naughty or as sexy as you like.
Absolutely.
You can just come wearing a pair of snowflake earrings if you want to.
Right, calm down.
Maybe cover a few other bits.
It could be a little bit chilly while you're waiting in the queue, so yeah. I'd save them to later.
Be sensible. We don't want frostbite.
But Mr. N, if anybody would like to be put on our guest list for Christmas V2V, how can they contact us?
Contact us, email us. We are naughty couple, spelled NAUGHTYCP1 at yahoo.com. You can send us an email if you're a couple or a single lady, and we will message you from there. And if you want any more information, we'll be happy to answer you. You can message us on that wonderful thing called Fab Swingers. We are naughty couple, spelled NAUGHTYCP1. Message us if you're a couple or a single lady and you want to be on the Christmas guest list, and you can just send us a message on Fab Swingers. Again, if you've got any questions, always happy to answer them.
This one is going to be epic.
It's going to be crazy.
You do not want FOMO.
We've got a photographer coming.
We have the lovely NJ.
And this is going to be better than your work's Christmas party.
Yes.
Okay? The naughty girl sitting on the photocopier. I'm still trying to work that into the party somehow.
We did try and ask Chardonnay if we could have one, but she kind of declined the offer.
She wouldn't hand over a photocopier. So we're going to have to create our own sort of photocopier that you can get your photo taken of your bum somehow if you want to. I've not really thought this one through, but I'm thinking it. If you've got any ideas on how we can do this, send me a message, send me an email, Fab Swingers or email. Send me a message. But yeah, wear your worst Christmas sweater.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Ladies, you could just come in a sweater, nothing else.
Absolutely.
It covers your bits.
Doesn't even have to do that.
Could be very naughty.
Could be incredibly naughty. It's entirely up to you.
Perhaps you're that naughty elf on the shelf.
Oh.
I just can't wait to see what Busty and Saucy's wearing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he could be very naughty. He's still walking around in his Cardinals outfit. But yeah, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one.
It is going to be epic, and you really don't want to miss it. So make sure you get on the guest list as soon as possible.
Oh, this one will get to capacity really quick.
Yes, it will do. We're
already up to 30-odd couples, and it was literally only open for a few hours. So if you do want to get onto the guest list, please message us as soon as possible, and we will get you on the guest list.
Myself and Mr. N are super excited to spend a Christmas evening with you lot.
Absolutely. And remember, the Naughty Carol singers will be there. Remember them from last year?
I do remember them from last year.
Yeah, they're going to be there.
Yeah.
So they'll be wailing in the background in the playrooms. It's going to be a good one. So I think we've just about covered. I think we're about out of time.
It's honestly, it just flies.
I know. So yeah, over the next couple of weeks we've got some big announcements to make, some really exciting news for next year. So V2V is just going from strength to strength, and thank you to everyone who supports us.
Absolutely.
It's really exciting, and we shall see you soon.
We will do. Everybody take care and have an amazing weekend.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.